Tutorial, we looked at how you can combine data frames using the function concatenation. And before I proceed with this video, I just want to make a quick correction. I said that combining data frames involves joining them, but joining is actually a different operation. So I just want to make that clear, that joining and concatenation are two different, and maybe I used the word inadvertently, but just to make that clear, that's different so that you don't get confused. So now on to this section, I want us to look at something known as merging operations of data frames. So if you are familiar with the relational databases, then you realize that there are some aspects, or there are some circumstances that you might have got data that are related to a single entity, and they might be stored in different tables or in different files, and then you might want to bring them together. So that is where merging kicks in, and this is a very, very important operation. Think of it, for example, in an organizational setup. You might find that maybe you have got employees, and these employees, they log in at workplace at a certain time, and with that you can literally see the number of hours they have worked in that organization in a day. And also in another separate data set, you might have got the amount of customers these employees have served, and therefore you have got their data regarding customer service in another table. If you want to combine those two data frames to kind of relate the number of hours worked and the service delivered, you can use the common attribute, which is the employee's ID, to kind of analyze whether this employee number of hours is proportional to the kind of customer service they are doing. So that kicks in the idea of relational databases and also relational data sets. And that is what pandas help us with a very, very nice function called merge, in case you want to bring those two data frames together. So to get us started, I want us to look at two examples of data frames. Pause the video again, write this data frame, just copy it step by step as it is. It's gonna convert each of this into a data frame. The first data frame is gonna be df1, and then the second data frame is going to be df2. So the first data frame basically gives you the country name and the language, that is of the former colony, and then the next one is the name of the same country, but this time with the independence here. So you can clearly see that these data sets are related, in that one defines the same country and the colony, and then the other one defines the country. Let me just change this to colony, and then the other one defines the country and the year of independence. And now we want to combine this data frame together using a merge function, but we don't want this kind of a mess where we have got indexes overlapping, or we having different set of index. So to do that in pandas, it's very dead easy. We can use the merge function, and the way it works, we're going to create a third data frame called df3, and we just do pd to mean pandas, and then merge function, opening and closing brackets, and then we pass in the first data frame, which was df1, and then the second data frame is df2. So just before I run this, let's have a look at the two data frames. df1, this is how it looks. It's basically a country and a colony, and then the second data frame is df2, which is basically the country, the same country and year of independence. So we have got Namibia, Germany, USA, Britain. So you realize that these countries are the same ones here, but you want to combine them in such a way that we're gonna maintain country, year, and have an extra column here that contains the colony. So to do that, we use the merge function, which is straightforward. So if you run this and have it displayed, it should be df3, sorry, I typed it wrongly. So you can see it has merged these two data frames by using the same country, so it has not duplicated each one of them. So Namibia, colony is Germany from this first data frame, and then it has simply taken only the year of independence as 1990. So that way it has successfully merged those two data frames. Now In some circumstances, you might find that even though these data frames have similar values, the way their columns is named is different. So assuming that this one is named country, and then the other one is named nation, then the merge function in pandas gives you an additional functionality that you can specify on how to merge these two data frames by simply saying that on the left, I want this to be the column name that I'm going to use to merge with the second data frame, and then on the right, on the second data frame, I want us to consider this column name. So I know it's kind of doesn't make sense, but once I write it down, it's gonna make sense. So let's say that we want to combine them using that. We'll say maybe df4. So we are still combining this df1 and the df2, but now specifying the names of the columns and assuming that the column names are different. So we want to explicitly specify the names. So I can say df4 equal to, again, pd, the syntax remain the same, but this time round I'm going to have so I'm going to have df1 and then have df2, and then I'm gonna specify that the left join using the function, the argument left join. So this one is inbuilt in pandas, left on. By the way, you can always press tab to see the options the way I'm doing. So left on, I'm going to specify that on my left, which is df1, here I want it to be country, and then on the right on, so I can type right and we just press tab. It's gonna give me option tab. It's gonna give me the option. So on the right on, which is the second data frame, you realize that it's not a country, it's called a nation. So just copy that and paste here as a string, nation. So when I do this and run it, I will have explicitly specified that on the left have it as a country and on the right have it as a nation, and then it has combined these two data frames into one. But there's something wrong with this data frame. You realize that it has got some kind of redundancy, both country and the nation, even though the column name is different, the individual values or individual data points is the same. So you have Namibia. So you can always drop this second column by using the drop function. So I'll say I can literally modify this function to drop it. So instead of doing that, let me just write in a fresh new line. So I'm gonna have country, and then let me just enter to have them neatly, and then I can say, once I have this everything here, I simply do dot drop and then specify that I want to drop the second column, which is the nation, because it's redundant, and then set axis to 1. If I do that and run df4, I will have a super clean data frame without that redundancy. So that's how you kind of specify the column names, even though the column names might be different but containing the same data. So that is all I have for you in terms of merging data frames. Again, subscribe to get notified when the new video is up, share with friends, like the video. Until next time, bye bye.